See, some people burst, but I thrive under pressure. I hold them down from distance like I was playing catcher. I pray to God, life is crazy, you know he'll test you. For real. Yeah. You know he'll test you. I'm a living legend in the making, don't care what you think about it. The only time I step inside a bank is for deposit. Failure's always present, but for me it's not an option. Cause I gotta feed my family and I know the critics watch. They don't wanna see you win, so they gon' try to stop it. A humble guy until you cross that line, then I'm a pop. Choking out the competition on my Sergi Baca. Don't associate with lames and haters, they are all imposters. No, see some people burst, but I thrive.
Oh, we got a packed house today. Got a packed house today.
Hey, you gotta say it like all the streamers say. We got a banger for you.
We got a banger for you. Oh man, we got a good show today, man. We got my man Weenie Trades back.
Hey, good to see you guys.
Greg, it's always great talking to you. And we got Donnell. I almost messed it up. I'm so sorry. And you're looking at me like, boy, I wish you would.
You gotta forgive him. We always tell people and excuse that. I think he went to an SEC school, so sometimes he'll mess up stuff up.
It's cool, Jerry. It's cool.
Oh man, but today we're talking about crypto and currency trading, man, and this is awesome. So it's always great we talk about trading. You know, we had Greg on like 2 times, and the 2 times he was on, he blew my freaking mind. And so now Donnell comes on and he's talking about currency trading, and I'm just like, what the hell is going on? I didn't even know this word exists. So guys, we got Greg and Donnell. Please welcome these two. Let's dive on into it.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, man. So Donnell, let's talk about it. So you're doing currency trading. I know Greg's doing day trading. Mm-hmm. How did you get into currency trading?
Well, currency trading, it really just kind of like blew upon me because I kind of always used to see the scams and a lot going on as far as like get under me, I'll teach you, and then you'll earn while you learn. But 9 times out of 10, you're not really like learning the substance of what it takes to really be a trader. And I saw the freedom in it, and I never stopped once I hit the ground.
When you talk about what? Oh, go ahead, Keanu. Go ahead.
When you say training, you learn, and you're not really learning, what are you saying? Like people would have you sort of like, I'll take you under my wings, but you realize you're actually doing their minuscule work for them, but you're not really learning anything. But they're making money.
They're making money because you have to go get somebody under you. But if you don't get somebody under you, then you have to continue to pay this fee. But all of that kind of doesn't have anything to do with trading, you know? Gotcha. And that created a real sour taste when it came to just currency trading and the real genuine currency trading. And when I finally came across an academy that actually taught the real genuine trading of Forex, I couldn't turn it down.
When you talk about like having somebody under you, like that immediately makes me think about pyramid schemes.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, it makes me, because I remember when I was about your age, man, and I
he always says it like he's 90 years old.
How old are you? He got to feel a little older.
You see what I'm saying, man? I'm 32, and he said 24. I'm like, gosh, dang! I remember when I was 24, man.
I got you beat by 12 years.
But I remember there was this gosh, what's the name of it? I cannot remember it, but it was this company that was
it's an MLM companies where you have to get people under you and sell stuff, and
it was something like that, right?
We call them the legal pyramids.
Yeah, so it was like we would go to it started with one of my friends that was like, oh man, I got this great business opportunity, you'll make a lot of money. And I'm like, oh man, say no more. So I get into it, and we're selling like essential services. So as internet, TV, all that kind of stuff. And
it's like 5 links.
Dude, it was one of those, but it was like you see all these people that have made a bunch of money doing it, and you're like, oh, let me jump into it. And if I get this amount of people, man, Was it sort of kind of like that when you talk about scams?
Yeah, for me, that was like my definition of a scam, because when I came across somebody that's genuinely teaching people that he's not making any money off my trades, he's not forcing anything on me, he's literally just doing what he did to get to where he's at and making videos of it and giving it to people. And at any point when I'm done with the academy, I could decide to leave, and the relationship is still there. There's no hard feelings, there's nothing. There's pure genuineness from the start to the end.
I want to ask you a question before, and I want to throw it to you and Weenie before we get into more about your background and where you're going with this, since we're on this topic. And Donnell, you can go, Weenie, you can go first, and Donnell, you can tell them from your crypto experience. What are some of the signs for people who are trying to get into anything involving any of this financial trading? What are some of the red, like you say, everything can't be a scam, but what are the red flags?
Really good question. What first comes to mind is if they ask to trade your money for you to send them your money right away. That's usually a kind of a scam. Sometimes they don't even like give you your money back, or they'll maybe make like a trade and give you a little bit of money, and then they'll think, ooh, I like this, and then they'll take the rest of your money and then just delete their account, and you'll never see them again. So anything where they ask you for your money, I think to trade your money, it's kind of a little bit sketchy. Also, maybe something like just flexing the lifestyle. I mean, there are some really good, like, non-scammers that also, flex the lifestyle, the Lambos, the fancy dinners, all that other stuff. But if it's like the only thing that they do, it's a little bit sketchy. But, I don't know. That's what comes to mind for me.
You also go ahead, Donald.
For me, it's the pressure aspect, because I'm not Obi-Wan Kenobi. So just because I'm doing something, it doesn't make you want to do it, or it doesn't make Weenie want to do it, or it doesn't make Dre want to do it. No matter how much I sit and I beat you over the head with it, you as a person have to want to do it. And that was my thing, where it was like, it was a point where they were kind of downplaying people having a 9-to-5. Oh, if you have a 9-to-5 and you're not doing this and you're not doing the right thing. For me, that's not fair, because this lifestyle isn't for everybody. And it really comes from psychology. So if you can't even get past the psychology aspect of it, you'll never, ever even get to the real money aspect of things.
That's the hardest part, is the psychology.
Shit, I feel you on that, man. I mean, I thought this is a different topic, but it's just me where you're talking about the psychology of it and the lifestyle. I used to hear, people talk about 100% commission on jobs, like, oh, you can earn as much as you want to. It's uncapped. I'm in this, and I gotta say, man, this is for the freaking birds.
Well, it's set up to where we've given you all the tools to succeed, and if you don't, you did something wrong.
I'm just gonna tell you,
you're not following the process.
Yes. So whoa!
He done threw it out there. He's throwing it out there.
You're not following the steps.
Of the show.
Sprinkle that in there.
Wow.
You're not following you're not following. So audience out there, he meant you're not following the steps. The process is good. It's good. Get that word in your head. The process. Well, Greg always talks about a red flag being when people guarantee you. Anytime someone says guarantee,
there's no guarantee in this.
You can guarantee education, but you can't guarantee like trading results, because anything can happen in the market. You can't like say, oh yeah, make $1,000 overnight, turn $100 into $1,000. You can't guarantee that, because you don't know for sure what's going to happen.
You don't know what the market's going to do.
Yeah, it's just probabilities, and aligning yourself with the probabilities as best you can. So if they promise anything, just be like, that's sketchy, or just like ignore them. I don't know.
Yeah.
So Donnell, explain to us what Forex trading is, because of course, people watching this show, we have a myriad of guests from all walks of life, and they may have no idea. We have a Forex trading sign up here. What is Forex, and what does that mean?
It's kind of crazy, because a common person does this on a regular. Forex is literally just the exchange of two currencies and the value change between the two. But now we have it electronically, where you can do that on your phone. You can do that on your laptop. But say you go out the country right now and you have $1,000 from USD, and you're going to Great Britain and you have to change your money to their money. That's Forex in a hand-to-hand transaction, you know? Because if at that point in time, if their money is worth more than what the US dollar is worth, you're getting more for your buck. But if it isn't, now you're taking your $1,000 and you're possibly losing, because you're going to get maybe $700-800 equivalent to their money. So that's just basically like just the basis of Forex, and it goes deeper into like learning your lot sizes and how much money you can risk and just those type of things. But that's just basically the basic level of Forex for real.
Oh, I feel you on that. I went to Makarska in 2000. No, it was actually 1999. And when I went to exchange my money and I gave them $1, it was 7 kuna for every dollar. So I gave them $350 and I lived like a king for a good weekend. I had a good weekend.
Hey, that's awesome. That's super cool. Yeah, and in Forex, like there are some really big moves that can happen, and there's leverage, right? And so, like, just real quick, like this is kind of like more so current events. The British pound, I'm sure you know and have heard about it, got absolutely destroyed. And so, what are your thoughts on that? Do you know what might have caused that? Just obviously, supply came into that currency, but what's your thoughts?
Me personally, I don't trade Great Britain, but one of my close friends, she does trade it, and it did sell really bad, and I feel like it has to do with inflation, because with the US dollar kind of like jumping, going up, going down, and it's so expensive to live, and you got to just think about how those other countries, they may not be going through those same problems that we're going through here in the US.
It's a really tough time over there, even just like Europe in general. Like their currencies are getting destroyed compared to the US dollar. So as you were saying, Keone, you can live like a king if you go over there right now, because the dollar can get you so much.
So much, yeah.
DeAndre, book our tickets.
All right, Donnell. This is so before the show started, you were saying you're 24 years old. Was there a moment for you where you were like, "Oh man, this is what I want to do"? I mean, I know you still got a long life ahead of you, but like, was there somebody that you saw trading that interested you into trading, that got you interested?
Yeah. So the person that taught me trading, his name is Archie Rice. He has like his academy is crazy. Like anybody that ever like comes to me about like learning Forex or anything like that, I instantly point him in his direction. And I don't get anything. He doesn't have a referral code or anything like that. Like he's a demon when it comes to like the charts. And seeing he's around my age. He's 26 years old, basically retired, doesn't have to work another day in his life, and he has nothing but time to be with his family.
See, this is the thing.
That's goals.
This is the thing.
And that motivated me a lot, because it's just like he went to college, he did the college thing, but he still felt like he needed more. And he doesn't go buy jewelry. He doesn't go waste his money on a bunch of frivolous things. Like he gets what he wants and he take care of what he needs to take care of. And that was always like something that I looked at that trading could give me for me, my family, my kids in the future, and things of that nature.
I've learned from going to events with really, really successful people who have a lot of money and doing things. And some of them do buy, jewelry, watches and all that. But the difference is they buy a nice watch and they put it on with their suit and go do what they're doing. They're not up there, taking the selfie with the watch, above their head. I don't want to poo-poo on people who do it, but they usually say people who have stuff usually don't have to flaunt it. Usually when you're so intent on flaunting something, it's because you have less. And that's a real problem, because I said this to Weenies. You rarely hear that a billionaire went broke. right? When's the last time you can think of hearing a billionaire went broke? And if you
pretty
do
tough to
one,
really-
you might pull one out of your head. But how many times do you hear millionaire gone broke? There's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. Yeah.
I think it's really interesting that you brought up the freedom thing, because I completely agree. I'm a trader. I've been trading for a living for about 3 years, and my life is free, but I'm not like what somebody would consider rich. You know, I don't make 6 figures or anything like that. I make a very small amount, and you know, there's a little bit left over each month, but not too much. And I'm still always looking to improve my skills and improve my net worth. But the biggest thing about trading is the freedom. Like, I can go to the gym in the middle of the day. I can trade a lot one day, but very little the next day. I can take a whole day off. It doesn't. It's not a simple 9 to 5 type of deal. It's opportunity. You got to seize that opportunity and snipe it. And you know, you got to know your setups. You got to know what you're good at. Know where you make the most amount of money. And that's what I really enjoy about trading, is the freedom. And I'm still not at that money point just yet, but that there's potential there as well.
Yeah.
Donnell, Donnell, answer this for people that are watching this and they're like, what would you say to people that think this is that kind of get rich quick scheme, that kind of get rich quick? Like, have you had people that have thought like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna do this because I'm going to get rich? What would you say to people that have that mentality?
Save your time.
I'll let you go first, Donald.
Save your time. Save it. Just save it. Don't even waste your time. Because it's gonna hurt you more. It's gonna hurt you way more.
Lose it quicker.
Now, why do you say that? Why do you say that?
Now, here's the thing. When people think of trading and they hear and see the get rich quick thing, it's because there are people that do get rich quick. They're very few though. They probably took really big size on some trade and had a few winners. It could, for most people in the stock market, they probably went all in on GameStop and got a really good exit. You know, they went all in on AMC.
You know what, Weenie? I'm gonna punch you in the damn face.
True,
No. I'm gonna punch. Did you find every reason to throw GameStop in my face after I told that story? You have mentioned GameStop 8 times on Zooms and your stream and my stream with me when I'm on. I watch you Weenie Trades live, and I never hear you say the word GameStop. As soon as I'm on the damn stream with you, you want to mention GameStop.
I'm sorry. Forgive me. It's a pivotal moment in stock history that keeps coming up. It's the reason why people think it's a get rich quick thing, because they hear about GameStop, they hear about some stocks, some people went all out. I'm sorry, Keone. You know, I would just say I'm here to help you heal from it. I'm here to help you heal. I didn't catch GameStop that big. I made it like a couple $1,000s off of it, off of some option trades, but I didn't really catch the full move of GameStop either. But that's not the point. You will always hear about people getting rich quick in the stock market, but you rarely ever hear about all the people that get clapped, all the people that blow all their money very quickly, because that just happens all the time. It happens so frequently, it doesn't make a news story. Trader blows his account. That doesn't make the news. That's normal.
That's normal.
95% of traders will fail because of what we talked about earlier, psychology. The market is designed to like mess with your head. It's designed to like rip out as many traders and investors as they can. And you got to be like always on that opposite side of the trade. And you got to know where people are positioned, where people are hurt. And this happens in Forex all the time. There'll be like some crazy like whips, like, you know, there's a lot of stuff. I'm not saying I'm some Forex trading expert. I've never even traded Forex, but
okay. So that leads me to this. So Donnell, when you first started out, how long did it take you to like, and I know this is different this will be different from everybody. How long did it take you to understand currency trading? And then what were some of the struggles that you had when you started out?
So some of the things I struggled with was psychology, for real, and learning just like patience and understanding that like the market is gonna do what it wants to do. No matter how long you stare at it, no matter how many times you click a button, it's gonna do what it wants to do. And that's kind of like the hardest thing because as humans, we like control, you know? And being on the market, you literally have to just let your control go. But then you keep just that little bit that you're supposed to capitalize off of, you know? And that's when the patient come in. That's when you have your setups, your discipline, you know? You're waiting for your M's, you're waiting for your W's, you know, you're waiting for that proper wick rejection. You're setting up zones, you know, like you start doing those different things because you're being disciplined to yourself. You know, you looked at the market enough and you're like, okay, it's going to make another leg and that's going to be my M. I'm not going to pull on the first leg because then I don't know if the second leg is going to go higher or lower, you know? So you just start making those thought processes within your head. And what was the first part?
I'm not gonna lie, man. You didn't. I got about 6 to 7 other questions just based on that. You start talking about M's and zones and W's and legs. I'm like, wait a minute. What is an M? Like, what is an M?
So
M for murder.
So Donnell and Weenie, you both, you know, you say this. If you're a person who makes decisions off of their emotions, this is probably not the right career path for you. Right?
Look at Greg.
I like how they both had a visceral reaction.
Yeah.
That
is that reaction that's like, dude, you're screwed if you are emotional.
It wasn't like they had it 3 seconds apart. As soon as I said emotional, they both just
that's that like, dude, you're screwed if you make emotional decisions, bro.
Because then that leads to revenge trading, you know.
Tilt.
Okay, tell us
Tell
about
us more.
Yeah.
So revenge trading is basically just you losing your money and then you just start chasing. You're just chasing. You know, you see that candle shoot up in the direction you thought it was gonna go. You buying, and then five minutes into the candle later, it just wicks back down, and then stop loss hit. Now you're taking a money loss, and now that's where your confidence comes in, because then now you lost the money, and then you're like, all right, I don't know if it's still gonna go in my direction. So then now you going on the other side, like, all right, I'm gonna sell now because it's not going in the buy. But then it's like you're not really giving yourself the chance to really let the market play out because you're just chasing that high to get the money back that you lost on the first trade that you took.
Yeah, you're trading on emotions, not on the logical setups. And I've totally been there. It still happens to me all the time.
It happens,
yeah. I can point you guys to some streams where I start the day down like $100. I just keep trading, minus $500. Every setup I take, keep trading, minus 1,000, keep trading. Now I'm doubling up the size, minus 2,000, keep trading, minus 4,000, keep trading. You make minus 3,000. It's just all over the place. You go crazy. The market is no place for an ape. Like,
you know what? I relate to you, Weenie. I did that tonight, last night on Facebook Uno. You know, I had 30,000 in my Uno account. I played the wrong game and lost 28,000 on a match. So now I'm like, you know what? Instead of playing the $400 games and build myself up like I used to, I kept playing the 1,500 ones. I'm like, I'm gonna get it. I'm getting it. Oh, you're out of coins. Damn it!
That's that we're talking about.
When is there, Donnell, for you, when is there, because I know we had Greg on here and he talked about like knowing when to stop, you know when to hold them, know when
to fold them. You gotta know when to fold them.
Is there, have you had that moment in currency trading where you're like, okay, I've lost X amount. How would somebody know that? Like,
that's when a trading plan comes in. Yeah, you have a trading plan, because if you set yourself, all right, I'm going into today, I'm only allowed to lose $250. you get to that 250, you need to walk away. You know, like, and that's hard.
Shut down the screen.
That's hard.
Very
because
hard.
then in your mind you're like, man, I just lost $250. Like, I only have X amount of hours to really look at the market and really get it set up, and so it's just like you just start like, all right, exactly what Greg said. I'm gonna up the lot size. I'm gonna just try and catch a quicker trade, but then you're not realizing when you up in your lot size, you're upping your leverage.
The risk.
So that same trade that you took before, that was a possible $100 loss, you can have that same stop loss, but then now your lot size is greater, so now it's a $500 loss. And you're not even thinking about the fact that that same 10 pip stop loss is $500 because you're thinking about, all right, if it goes 10 pips in my direction, I got $500. But there's no setup there. There's no logic. There's no technical analysis. There's nothing there but emotion and wanting to get your money back. It's kind of like getting robbed, and then you're so mad about getting robbed that you're just running around. All right, I gotta find the person that took my money. I gotta find.
It's the only way to do it, though.
But in this game, you can't find the market maker.
Yeah.
You don't know where they live. You don't know who's sitting on the dance floor. You don't know, So it's just like,
what's so
it helps you learn.
I relate that I relate that kind of stuff to real life, just for people like me who don't do this type of stuff. When I joined the Army and I went to Fort Hood, Texas, like back in 1999, God, Jesus. They give you a bank account. I got a bank account. I'm a private. I make about, I think it was like $900 a month back then. And what the bank would tell you is, hey, you can go on the overdraft, but it's going to charge you $45 every time you do yada, yada, yada. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So what would happen is all the money would be gone. It's like, well, I can go on the overdraft. So every month I was going like $400 or $500 into the hole, because I'm like, no, on the first, I'm going to get $900. So I'm good. Then on the first, you get the $900, but you really have $400. It's like, damn, I got 2 more weeks and I need groceries and gas. Well, that's okay. I got my overdraft. And then you go. And it was just such a terrible way to live, but they let you do it.
That is one thing that pisses me off, if I'm being honest with you. You don't have to remind me that I ain't got no money. How are you, how are you going to charge me a $35 to $45 fee on money that I don't have? It
never makes sense.
It does not make any sense.
Well,
you're charging me on money I don't have.
Here's the problem also. Back then there was no mobile banking. So what would happen is everybody doesn't have time to go to the bank. So you would go to the ATM and get your balance, and the balance it told you on the ATM would never be the balance that you have in the bank, because now we know from having online banking, there's that damn pending. Right? Because we weren't balancing checkbooks anymore. We laugh at people who balance a checkbook, but they know exactly what they got.
True. Okay, so you mentioned, you threw a term out, Greg. You may have mentioned this before. Sorry that I've forgotten.
What do you say, GameStop again?
You said no. You said GameStop.
Trigger.
It is such a trigger for a man.
I'm sorry.
But you mentioned leverage. You said you lose your leverage or something, and so I put leverage equals risk. Is that what that means?
Yeah, basically, like, what you're leveraging at a time is what you're willing to risk, as far as like your account size and just how much money that you're willing to risk in order to gain. That's when risk to reward comes in. And you don't want to over leverage your account, because then that goes into your emotion, like, say you have, as far as Forex, say you have a $500 account and you go pull a standard. A standard is a 1.0, and that's $10 a pip. So that's a lot of money. And depending on the broker, some brokers may let you pull that lot size, but you also got to think, if you take that loss, that's a good percentage of your $500. So that's just where the risk rewards come in, because you don't want to basically risk $100 and then that trade only goes for $50.
Well said. Oh, sorry, continue.
No, you good. No.
I loved what you said about risk for your account and how that affects your psychology. So, for example, if I said, hey, you guys, this next trade, you can if you lose, you're going to lose 1 penny. You wouldn't give 2 craps about that trade, right? Nobody's too like scared about losing a penny. But what if I say, okay, on this next trade, you're risking $100,000. You're going to watch that trade. You're going to be sweating a little bit more. Yeah. It's going to be a lot like the stakes are so much higher when it's so much more of your net worth.
That's one of those situations, man, where it's like, you like, don't nobody talk to me. Don't nobody say nothing to me.
I guess
I need everybody to be quiet.
I guess that's one reason why you have people that they pay people to invest for them, because they don't have they have the money to do it, but they don't have the stomach or the patience to want to. Because, you know, for instance, when I was in the Army, we had this thing called TSP. You takes money out of your check every month, and then, you know, it's more of a long-term thing. You're supposed to take the money out when you retire. And they tell you don't look at it, because if you go look at it every month, sometimes I'd have like, you pick these accounts, how aggressive you want them to be, because they're investing the money for you. Sometimes I look and I'm like, wait, it was I had $22,000 last month, and now I got 9. And then next month I look, it's like, oh, I got 13. Wait, I got 5. And then my first sergeant said, stop looking at it. Don't look at it.
See, I think that'll bother me. I think that'll
You're
something
not
that'll
supposed
get
to
me.
look at it. You're supposed to take the long ride. It's all going to work out in the end. But if you sit there and look at it every week and every month, you're going to drive yourself crazy.
Yeah, I'd be that kid that, are we there yet? No. Are we there yet? No. I would be that. That'd be me. Donnell. So one of the things Greg mentioned to us is that in day trading, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Greg. You can get into day trading without using your own money. Are there
a monthly fee? But yes.
Yeah. Is it the same in currency trading, that like there's something that you pay a fee for, but you're not necessarily using your own money? Or Greg, what was the thing you told us about?
It's funded trading accounts. So are there funded trading accounts in like Forex? So for example, I'm a funded futures trader because I passed the evaluation account. You have to hit the profit goal before hitting the trailing threshold. And then you get to trade with their money. You have to make up all the risk first, and then you can withdraw all the profit. Yeah. So are there funded accounts for Forex? I believe they are.
Yeah, they have like prop trading. They have like funded talent. They have a bunch of them. And it's literally the same concept. You have a profit target. You have an amount of drawdown that you're allowed to take. And when you get to that point, you're splitting. Sometimes it's like 80-20, 70-30. It just depends on the company. But
yeah, well said.
Do they have apps where you can use dummy money? Like, for instance, I know there's trading apps where you use fake money to kind of learn what you're doing. Do they have the same type of capabilities too?
So within the same app that like I trade live, they have like a demo trading where you can literally just go in the app and it'll have $100,000 accounts, $1,000 accounts, just different amounts. And it's the same thing. Like nothing changes. It's just not your money.
Yeah. That's what I'd suggest for anyone looking to start. Never risk your own money. Get good with the simulator. And then you after a long period of time and trading the way that you trade with real money, which it doesn't convert always because there's emotions, there's fills. But you want to get good at the simulator before risking your money. Like I don't understand why people try to jump in to make money when people dedicate their lives to this thing. Like take it seriously if you want to make money in the markets. Go on the simulator, please. My opinion, though. Everybody has a different one.
What do you say for people who just liken it to gambling because they don't have a full understanding of it? Is that a terrible assessment or comparison?
Vegas.
I mean, you can use the simulator just to gamble. You're not going to get better, though.
Like, if you want to gamble, go to Vegas.
Yeah.
It's a gamble. It definitely is a gamble. But it's a bit more of a controlled gamble. You know, like the house always wins.
And you want
that's
to
a concept that you kind of get to get. Yeah, you're just playing with the house, and you're just trying to get your little pennies that you could get for the day. It's a $7 trillion market a day, you know. So it's like, how much do you really need out of that pie?
All of it.
That's when greed comes. That's when greed comes in, because
Hey, what? No, it ain't greed. What you talking about?
no, because then look at it like this. All right, so you got on the chart at 9, right? You made $1,500 by 9:30. At 10 o'clock, you pull another trade because you're like, oh, cool, I made $1,500. When was the last time you made $1,500 in 30 minutes?
Man,
I can't say I can't say on this web show what I did make $1,500 because kids watch this show, so I'm gonna just leave it alone.
Yeah.
So,
You have to be able to be content with small wins, large wins, because if you're not able to be content with something, you're always going to chase more.
You know what? I totally get what you're saying. So, like, what he's saying, you know, you made $1,500. Tell me how many jobs you can get where you make $1,500 an hour, and then I'll say, okay.
I'll say, cool.
Yeah.
Pass me an application. I'll go. Give me a hat. Everything.
Right.
Absolutely.
But you have to be realistic with yourself, where it's like, that's only a basis level of it, you know? Like, in this market, $1,500 is kind of pennies, you know? Like, that's a tad bit of a micro account, you know? Because then there's people that's like higher up on the floor that's trading with $250,000 every day, $500,000, $1 million, you know? And they're closing on $250,000 trades, you know?
Oh yeah.
Wait, y'all serious? There are people that are trading millions of dollars?
Yeah, it's a $7 trillion a day business. You just said.
What rock am I living under?
Because the more money you have to kind of like risk, that means the more money you can leverage. So if I have a $50,000 account, my lot size could be bigger than if I had a $500 account.
You can go up to like 100x or 1,000x in Forex, right? So basically, if you have $50,000, you can 10x that, and you can be trading with $500,000. You can 100x that, trade with $5 million.
Okay.
Y'all just
give
him a moment to breathe. Meaning you just short circuited his. He almost blew a gasket. Hold on. Did you see that brain? He's like,
it's cracked. It's absolutely
it's crazy. It's crazy.
So wait a minute. So when we had Greg, he put up like a chart, right? You showed us kind of like, what's the market? I don't know. Like
the overall market, just the spot.
Does it look the same for currency versus crypto?
Yeah. It just depends. It depends on what you choose, because you could use candles, you could use graphs, you could use notches. It really just depends on how you want your chart to look. But yeah, it looks the same. Like I follow a lot of like stock traders, and their charts look the same. Like the concept of it is kind of the same, but it's just the time aspect for real. Stocks, it's like longevity, unless you're like day trading and you're doing options. And but with Forex, it's kind of like, all right, I could get on right now. I could sell when the market is going down, and then I could close out and then take my money for the day. I don't really have to wait 3 days, 4 days, a week for the market to really make a move.
Man. It moves fast. Forex moves really fast. It's open 24 hours. You don't need PDT, meaning you don't need $25,000 to trade in and out unlimitedly. And if you're in the United States, if you're trading stocks or options, you need an account over $25,000 to make unlimited day trades. And there's ways around it. I've got YouTube videos on it, but that's kind of the gist. Forex is a very accessible market.
Donnell, this like, man, you really intrigue me, man. Like seriously, like and like, because the thought that is coming to my mind is like, dude, you're 24. I know ethnicity has nothing to do with it, but you're a black man that, you know, a young black man that knows about this stuff.
Killing it.
you know what I'm saying? To me, it's like,
Appreciate it.
no, seriously. So I'm more like, why? Like, not and like, why would you want to know about that? But it's just like, what is it that that compels you to want to know about this?
And Donnell, this is very high praises because when I met DeAndre, I told him I retired from 2 jobs at 40 and I did 20 years in the army and I have 2 master's degrees. And he was like, okay, whatever. It takes a lot to impress him because that was obviously
I
nothing.
appreciate it.
No, I'm
Yeah.
serious,
High
dude. Because
praise.
I'm for real, man. I'm like really intrigued because it's just like, dude, like you're a young black man that's doing this, and doing it well. You're very knowledgeable. What compelled you to want to get into this? And this isn't just something that you pick up. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't wake up. I can't wake up tomorrow and be like, you know what?
I want to be a
I'm gonna
trader.
go trade. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go. Like,
Yeah.
so please tell us, like, or tell us the audience, like,
For me,
what.
it goes back to that sense of freedom, like, and this trading thing, it changes your outlook on money as a whole.
That's really well said.
Money isn't real to a sense, like, because you're literally printing money, like I said, like somebody can close out on $250,000, and you got to think people work their lives to see that type of money. So getting into this, it has to be more than just money, because if you're just chasing money, you can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
But it's that sense of like, this is something that I knew that would give me my time. And I always think back to like when I was a kid and they used to ask like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I always used to have the regular kid answer, I want to be an NBA player, I want to be an NFL player, I want to be in sports. But I never had the notion of, okay, I want to be a police officer, I want to be a firefighter, I want to be, I want to be in the field of like working for somebody. I just never had that notion. And that opened my eyes, because this is that thing where I can be my own man. I can wake up on a Tuesday and go to my kid's soccer game last minute. I can wake up on a Wednesday and buy a ticket and go to Aspen because I have time. And I don't have to call my boss and be like, hey, can you put in some vacation time for me? So when I realized that like trading was that thing that could really give me my time and like freedom for me, my family, my friends around me, it was like, I can get down with this. And I'm a numbers guy. So it was like, it was just
there
like,
you go.
Yeah, so I see that was what I was, because
because I know what Donnell said. You were inspired to do this, and then you started to do it, but it was something that was in you that you never knew was in you until you were inspired to do it. Because there's people who would love to do this, but they don't have the capacity. I'm not saying that in the wrong way. I mean, I consider myself kind of smart, but I don't have the capacity to do it. Now, Weenie will tell you, yes, you do. I know if I sat down and devoted my time to it and do it. Yeah, but I don't have the drive to want to do it, even though I know what the success could be if I did it well.
Yeah,
that's a good point, Kenny.
Oh, sorry. You go, DeAndre?
No, I was gonna say that's a good point, because like I've had conversations with Greg where I'm like, yo, can you teach me? Can you help me? Like Danny and I, we want to learn how to do this, but then how on the other side of that, there's this thing that like I flipping hate numbers. I hate them. I hate them. Like I don't like them. And I'm that guy that's like, I'll write you whatever you want me to write you. I'll write the book. I'll write you whatever. But numbers, it's just like it does something to me where I'm just like, what the fuck? But at the same point in time, I'm like, man, people do seemingly make good money doing this.
I'm like,
I think it goes back to, you gotta love the game. You gotta love the game. You gotta love the puzzle of the market. You gotta be intrigued by why a stock or a currency pair moves. Like for example, like I like playing chess. I like outwitting my opponents. I like the psychological aspect. You gotta love the psychological aspect of trading. Like you gotta know whether buyers or sellers are trapped. You gotta love that. You gotta love profiting off of a trap seller or a trap buyer. you got to really relish in your forecast and then executing on that forecast, nailing your entry, nailing your exit. You got to love the game. If you come into it thinking about money, that's where people fail. If you just do it for the money, you got to love the puzzle. That's all.
I think if somebody were to
look at DeAndre, how much, like, you played football, right?
I was just about to say that.
I played too, but I didn't play on a level that you played. But you were around those people, like you think of like a Peyton Manning, that you got quarterbacks that hate watching film. You got people like him, like he wants to break down everything. He wants to know the film. He wants to think about schemes. He wants to know everybody's habits. Like, he's hungry to know that information. And everybody has something that they're hungry about, whether it's music. Like, I look at people who are an accountant. When I hear someone who's 17 that says, I want to be an accountant, I'm like, what? Like, what do you what do you want to do that for?
That's extreme numbers.
But there are people who love sitting at a cubicle and like crunching numbers, and I'm just
my gosh, dude, that just sitting at a cubicle, that just hearing that makes me want to let my dog gnaw my left leg off. Like, but I'm one of those. But I'm one of those people that, like,
that's my point. It takes anybody. You can do anything you put your mind to, but you have a drive. Everybody has a drive to do a certain thing.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying,
dude. Donnell, I'm with you on the freedom aspect. Like, for me, I'm like, I mean, we talk about this a lot. Me and my girlfriend, we talk about this a lot. Where it's like, dude, like, to have the ability to, on a random Wednesday, and be like, man, it's 3:47 on Wednesday. I'm just saying in general, it's 3:47 on a Wednesday. We want to fly to so and so. Let's go. Let's literally pack our clothes, drive to the airport, and get a ticket to wherever we want to go. That to me is like, that's the goal. You know what I'm saying? That's the goal. So, like, you talked about loving the game, Greg. Like, I'm one of those people, like, I love the game. I think if I were to have someone that could, like, you know, break it down to me in a sports term, where they're like, hey, all right, so this is the game, this is the team, these are the players, this is the play, or these are the plays, and you get good at running those plays, you know, that would help me. That would make it so much more interesting to me, to where I'm like, okay, so this is the play we're calling, this is the defense. I know that in this defense,
this is your role.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know, okay, this is the defense.
I can totally do that.
That would help me so much, because right now, all I'm hearing is thousands of dollars, and you got to watch the graph. It's going to dip a little bit, and you know what I'm saying?
What quickly comes to mind is, I can easily like break that down. Like, offense is the buyers, defense is the sellers. Your job is the quarterback. Your job is to execute the trade. And if the defense does this, you do this. If the offense does this, you do this. Okay, here's where you set your orders at. Okay, if the play works well, you just made $1,000. If you get sacked, boom, you just lost $500. You lost 1 R. Your reward is 2 R. You know, simple things like that.
So
and it's this type of play where it's a breakout formation, or it's a whipsaw or a supply zone coming on in, or a demand zone that you're buying.
Right. So you guys both of you mentioned setup. So for people like me who may be watching the show, where they're like, okay, what is a setup? And can you please put that in terms of sports? So, for example, right, this is probably going to fly over people's heads, but in sports, let's say it's 3rd and 5, right? And I'm going to call a play specifically for my running back, right? But I want to set this play up by picking the linebacker, because I know they're going to be, based off of film, they're going to be in man coverage on this down and distance. So I know that, but I want to run a play to where I'm going to have my receiver pick the linebacker, so that my running back is running like a little, flare route, a little Can you? How will you set up something like that in crypto or currency?
So for me, as far as on Forex, it's kind of like going back to the setup and the M's. So a M is a setup, and your setup is your plays. So the same way you have each player, and each player is doing a specific thing, in your setup, for me, each candle is a player. Because I'm looking at each candle, and there is moving up, it's moving down, and I'm reading and reacting to the behavior of the candle. And part of my setup could possibly be all my confluences, and the confluences is just the reasons to take the trade.
Things
So
like
say I have I have a wick rejection. That could be one of my confluences to, all right, the market is weakening. You know, now let me see if it retests that wick. Let me see if it doesn't touch back up there again. So then now I know that, all right, it might possibly sell soon because of the wick rejection, because of the volatility of the market. You just kind of like, you read and you learn which confluences work for you, and you create your plays, you know, like, and that just comes from looking at the market over time, and just every time you see, all right, an M, I like that M. I'm gonna wait to see if I see that in the market live. All right, that W, I'm gonna see if I see that live.
Wait,
And
what
you
does
just
W?
go back. W is basically another setup. So literally, as you draw a M on your paper, the letter M, that's a type of setup that some people like to take. Me personally, I like to take M's, because if it gets to my zone and it's showing a
I
sense of
like it,
rejection,
Donnell.
and it's like, okay, it gave me one leg, now I could wait for my second leg, and that's what creates an M. And in the same way for a W, you have your first leg of your W, and then it may go back up to retest wherever it might have broke out of, and then come back down and give you your second leg, and it possibly could be where the first leg was, or it never even reached down there. And that'll give you a confluence that, all right, the market might want to buy because it's done selling. And you create those plays. Like, no one could really give you something that works for you. You have to look at the market and get comfortable with what you like seeing. No matter if I tell you sell on an M, buy on a W, that doesn't mean you're going to see that M, because it's not going to look the same every time.
Yeah.
DeAndre, read the chat. I have a question for you, because we always ask the guest this. Was there any part throughout the process of you doing this, between the time you started and now, where you felt like, whether it was a hard time or you had a bad loss or just the stress of it or the struggle or outside influences, where you said, you know what, I can't do this, and you almost gave up? If you did, what made you push through and continue? And if that didn't happen, that's fine as well. But we always like to get to know if that happened throughout your process of doing it.
That's a given. That's like, if that doesn't happen, you're not really like invested in it, you know? And one thing that Archie taught me, there's 5 phases to like a person's journey. There's your first phase where you're excited, you know, you're seeing everybody making money, you know, you're just overhyped. You're just trying to learn everything. You're just everywhere. Phase 2, you kind of like, all right, you're getting into the groove of things. Like, you're starting to see like you can lose, you could gain money. And then phase 3, you get to the point of like, all right, is this for me? Am I really like grasping this thing correctly? Like, what is going to take me to that next hump? Phase 4, you get to the point of, all right, I'm getting a little more consistent. The ball is rolling. I'm making a little money. It's nothing like crazy, but I'm making something where I can see my wins. And in phase 5, you're at ultimate freedom. So if you never get through those phases, you never really get the chance to really experience your journey for real. Because you need that time of like looking at the market like, is this for me? Like, can I take another $100 loss?
Gotcha. But what was that
you know,
time
like,
what was that time for you? Can you give us an example of one of those times? If you don't want to tell us the event and what happened, that's fine too. But what was one of
for
those
me,
moments?
it was blowing accounts. Like,
Oh,
when I
you said
first
it,
started
you
out,
said it with the plural.
no, yeah. It's not just you're not gonna just blow one account. No. You're gonna blow a couple of them, and it's not you're blowing them because you're not learning. You're blowing them because you're learning. But in this game, it costs to play. So each loss you have to take as a lesson. And that was something I had to learn. Like, all right, I blew an account. Why did I blow that account? What did I do that got me to the point where the account is blown? And once you get to that point, you're like, all right, nothing could take me down, because it's like, that's where we go back to the psychology thing, because you can't psych yourself into being good at this thing. Like, it literally comes with time, effort, work, and then it shows for itself. You don't have to tell anybody you're good at it.
So well spoken. A lot of people like think when they first come into this that people don't blow their accounts or people don't lose money. It happens all the time. And like you said, every single loss is an opportunity to learn and get better. Every single account lost is an opportunity to learn and get better. I've got a whole YouTube video talking about the accounts that I've blown and what I learned from it. I think it's really valuable to talk about that and share it with the public. And it comes back to simulated trading as well. You don't have to lose real money to learn, but it's going to happen. Like you just said, it's a part of the journey.
You know what's so funny? It's one of those jobs where it's like acting. The success rate is high, but in reality, it's low. Like a baseball player. Yeah. You do good 3 out of 10 times. That's a 300 batting average, and that's amazing. But if you think about it, you failed 7 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
But that's good. And so it's like one of those things where if you look at it on the outside, you're like, wait, I can fail 7 out of 10 times and still be one of the greatest baseball players to ever live because I succeeded 3 out of 10 times. So that's another thing with patience. But yeah, okay, thank you. That's helpful. We always love to see and hear about people pushing through adversity. DeAndre?
Dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. So we at the segment of the show where we do weekly wins. And this is we love weekly wins, man, because this is our way to kind of, focus in on something positive that happened in the midst of a world that is just gone mad. It's gone mad, and we get the chance to focus on one thing and just say this is something that we're grateful for. So I'll kick it off. So I don't think I say that. I don't think I've ever said this, but my weekly win is actually
grateful for me. Oh, sorry.
This is my weekly win, man. Like, I freaking enjoyed this show. Like, I really enjoyed this show, man. So this is my weekly win, man.
I feel like that's been your weekly win on like 5 episodes. Your weekly winning copping out now.
No, it's no cop out. Seriously, man. Like, I learned a lot. I still have a lot more questions, but this is it, man. Yeah, Donnell, I appreciate you, dude, for being on here. Greg,
I appreciate you,
and I love when I get to talk to you guys, man. So this is awesome. This is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Group of cool people.
Yeah, absolutely. Keanu, what's yours?
My weekly win is that I worked at the No Barriers charity event on Monday. I think I mentioned this on Weenie's show. I'm gonna talk about it all week till the week's over. It's a great organization that raises money to help veterans that suffer from mental, physical, emotional damage from their time in service, or even the ones who may have not struggled from their time in service, but are finding it hard once they get out. And so they do a very, 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 very great deed. And I loved going up to Asheville and working with them. I felt invigorated and I felt like I did something great.
Definitely. Yeah, that's awesome. Freaking awesome. Greg, you take her away. What's up, man? What's your weekly win?
I'm excited to do a photo shoot this Saturday for I'm just graduating from my acting classes, so that's one of the last things, and it's just going to be exciting to get some professional headshots. Some actual, that was the bell, in case you heard that. Ding, 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 ding.
You're still working?
Well, the apps are just open on the computer. But yeah, super excited to, have that chapter wrapped up, and excited to see what I can do in acting. Probably won't do any modeling, but unless there's some really good paying gigs. But it's just another side hustle type of deal, because you're always going to want like extra things to do. You always want to diversify your risk. But then once you find that thing that you love, try to go all in on it. So yeah, that's what I'm excited for.
Greg, I had no idea you were doing the acting and somewhat the modeling thing. This is
Yeah,
something else we have in common here, man.
I only mentioned it to him like 5 times in the past, Greg, but that's okay.
That's fine. I don't. Not a lot of people know about it. It's just been something to do on the side. Yeah.
Oh, this is dope, man.
Yeah, I used to coach Greg. Greg.
Yeah, Keone's my coach.
Was.
Look at this, man.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Well, you know what? I said this before the show, DeAndre. I did not realize this. I met all 3 of you through coaching you. That's never happened on any of my shows.
Man, we're just special people, man. We're just special.
Yeah, you are.
Donnell, what's your weekly win, man?
Honestly, this show right now, I was looking forward to just kind of like conversation and just being able to pick somebody else's brain. And, you know, with trading, you don't really get to talk about it too much because it's not a topic that everyone is like knowledgeable about. So it becomes just a bunch of words, you know? So this was really my weekly win. Like I was looking forward to it the entire week. Like, all right, yeah.
I'm glad you said that because we like to make it interesting. That's why I started watching Weenie Trades lives, because when I go on a lot of, and I said this to you before the show, Donnell, I go on people's show, it's like, all right, here's what the market's doing. It's taking time. Let's check the SPY. And I'm like, oh my God. But Weenie, you get on there, he's got the charisma, he's smiling, he's playing with the silly cat. And then his wife, fiance, I might as well call her wife. Wife comes in, she takes over, right? He's got the little music that plays every time I donate money to the cat. And that's what I'm hoping to do with Donnell, Weenie. Me and Donnell are going to talk because I'm hoping to get him to do what you do.
Yeah, Donnell, you should come on my show, Weenie Trades Live. They'd love to hear you. They'd love to just hear you talk about Forex or anything on your mind. It's always great to have just like-minded people talking.
It actually would be good if you come, because every time he does lunchtime with Keone, I'll go on his live. There's like 60 people watching, and then he goes, all right, Keone's coming on. It drops to 30, to 25, to 20, 15. And then when I leave, it pops back up to 60. So
yeah, that actually dope, man. Y'all should exchange info, man. Seriously.
Seriously. Okay, we certainly will after the show.
You say what?
We certainly will.
Yeah, y'all do that. Exchange numbers.
Hey, man, listen, this is what we're about, man. We're about making connections. You know, life is all about connecting, you know, and that's one of the one things that I love doing, connecting with people. And so here you are.
He's just trying to find an out, Weenie. I'm just waiting. I wake up every day. This is my risk. This is my risk trading. I wake up every day waiting for the text that says, all right, Keone, I've moved on to bigger things.
Oh, heck no, man. No, for real. Like on the real, for real. I'll just put this out there and let y'all know what my goal is, man. So like my goal with this show, honestly, is for this to become one of those shows where it's almost like a with Keone, of course, to become one of these shows that is like David Letterman's my next guest needs no introduction kind of thing, where you get to where I'm getting the opportunity to really be able to, you know, we got a location. I can travel to people. We can travel to people and interview them. And it's on Netflix. It's on these, you know, major networks and stuff like that. That is what the goal is. And
you're darn right. That's why I get you these guys like Donnell and Greg and Jacinia before they blow up, because then I can hold it over the head. Hey, remember me?
Yeah, man. It's dope. Like that would be dope, man. Because you know that's what my goal is. This is stuff that I love doing. I love talking to people. I love getting to hear people's stories. I'm a storyteller, so I love hearing other people's stories. And so this would be dope, man, to have this show blow up to be that. And it will. At what point, I don't know. I'm going to keep striking at the tree, but, you know, it will.
Cool.
But, man, appreciate you guys and everybody that tuned in. This was an amazing episode. Donnell, Greg, Keone, I really, really appreciate y'all. So grateful that y'all came on. But everybody else, man, tune in next week, same time. Well, I know the week before it was at 2:00, but it'll be back at 3:00. So, we'll be here. Why are you shaking your head, man?
You should leave this part to me. But go
I thought it was well said.
It was, Greg. Thank you, man.
It was well said. It was.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I said
all I can say is I got DeAndre Presley to do 3 episodes where he got to talk about math. Think about that.
Dude,
That's